of that points lead? You'll have to wait and find out.
Typhoon, we rule the seas.
Bumpy and crazy.
Kind of like, you know, NASCAR in the water.
You'll probably get the breath knocked out of you.
It's the 2002 APBA Offshore Pro Series presented by Mercury, where the racing never stops. And this is the Allen Samuels Powerboat Shootout. To Corpus Christi, Texas, and the Allen Samuels Powerboat Shootout. And it should be just that today. Lots of competition. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Crippen, and along with me is Martin Sanborn. And Martin, this course is one that the race boats really contend with a lot of different water.
Everybody knows that this race site is very challenging. Everybody knows Corpus Christi has traditionally rough water, but we look out there today, it's fairly calm. It was like this yesterday morning, though. About 1:30 race time, it blew up big, and there was a lot of rough water for the guys to go out and test in.
Now, the course itself, let's talk about that, because they did get some changes on the course.
Well, what they did is they shortened the south end of the race course up, so instead of coming immediately out of the harbor and making a right-hand turn, we went right out to a straight out of the harbor. They go straight out, make a left-hand turn, so there's only a dog leg right in front of the aircraft carrier. It's going to shorten it up, and it took off that dangerous right-hand turn.
Well, we've got lots of racing to go, so let's not waste any time. Let's go right out onto the course. The Factory 1 boats are already milling. Jamie Little spoke to some of the teams earlier.
Glenn and Randy, Team Typhoon Racing, you guys have been put into the top spot. Tell me about your race in Cleveland.
Well, in Cleveland, as you recall during our interview, we told you we didn't want to be in second, third, fourth, any place below first. We belong on the top. We think we do our homework, and that's why we are number one. We plan on staying up there. It's going to be tough out here today because everyone's gunning for the number one position. A lot of these boats are good in rough water. It gets rough, calm. It's very unpredictable. So it's going to be a dog race out there today.
So we were out testing yesterday, and we feel pretty confident that we're going to come in on top today. We've been very close. Been working out with Kurt from Kryptonite on this, and we really think we've detailed it out, and we think we're going to be okay on this one.
I think it's been, 5 different races. We've had 5 different winners. So it's not like anybody's blowing everybody else away. Competition's real good. We just prefer the big water, and hopefully today it'll blow up a little bit and we'll be okay. Or Typhoon will just break. That would be nice too.
But there's still only 27 points from you guys in third to first, so it's still a pretty tight, competitive three-way battle.
Yeah, it's been a huge battle all year long. It's been the three of us all season long, and at one point there was 1 point separating all of us. And right now, this is, it's anybody's race, and whoever wins here is going to definitely have a big advantage in the points, and we're hoping that's us and let them chase us for a little bit.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what the Factory 1 configuration looks like. These are boats 24 to 30 feet in length. They all have a common weight that they have to weigh. Sealed HP 500 Mercruiser engine, and here is the points leader, Typhoon Racing.
The boats are very close. They are very equal, but the water, that will make the difference today, Martin, and they've got their choice of water. There's all sorts out there.
As we mentioned earlier, they changed the race course this year, taking off the right-hand dogleg. Now they go straight out of the harbor, still a counterclockwise course. Everything that from this point on is essentially the same as it was coming back across the Lexington into the harbor to the start-finish line.
Factory 1 season point standings. These boats are having a battle. 5:17 for Typhoon. Activator is next, followed by Flash Wave. Then H2O Motorsports, Propco Propellers, and Chicks Beach Offshore. It is a tight battle all the way. These boats are lining up now for the start. They will try to get in a straight line off the back end of the pace boat. A yellow flag flies off until the start, then the green.
Come on, baby. Tires loose. Come on, come on, come on. So we're about to go green in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green. Green, green, green. Let's roll. Come on, baby. Do your thing. Let the dog eat. Hang on. Woo!
You're on On board the Chicks Beach offshore boat there at the start, you can hear the countdown as the green flag flew. These boats still very even, trying to match up as they go down to the first turn. Every boat wants to try to get onto the inside. They're going to be battling it out as they go down. When the boats are even and equal like this, there is a problem. Nobody dominates. Even though the boat on the far outside would seem to have an advantage, he cannot just cut across the field.
What do we got on our inside? Oh, baby, if we ain't driving, we ain't racing. MCS, baby, MCS. 3 o'clock now. I'm going to pinch him. I'm going to pinch him.
All right, the strategy comes into play.
They're already talking about what they're going to do. Here they come into the turn. That's Activator diving to the inside. Activator moves to the lead, catches up to Propco propellers, got past Chicks Beach.
Rounding turn 1.
It looks like they all got through turn number 1. All right, we're looking at Glenn Murray and Randy Schlues aboard the Typhoon boat.
Nope. I got to go over.
Lots of action. Boy, they are bouncing around out there now, and the boats are starting to spread out just a little bit. Activator trying to break away.
We got a boat right on us. Woo-hoo! Kiss him next time, baby. I'm kissing him. I was trying to just come off a little. That's all.
Chicks Beach is still trying to fight up through the pack. Meanwhile, High Energy Racing, Mark Kowalski, the owner of the boat, and also the throttleman, along with Michael McCarley out of Havre de Grace, Maryland, who is the driver, has taken the lead over the Activator. B.J. Mayer of Boothwyn, Pennsylvania, and Mark Schneff on the throttle out of Coram, New York. They are in second place. There's the High Energy team, and they are leading.
Hey, the chief referee, he is in the course. When they come around, if he's not going, I want to fly yellow. He's not going. Just put a single yellow at that point.
That was the chief starter, J.P. Kimes, talking to the chief referee. Apparently we have a boat that is stopped on the course as the leaders make their way into the harbor, making the turn to come across the start-finish line for the completion of their first lap.
And the first boat across that finish line to get scored will be High Energy. They have opened up a bit of a margin between first and second place. Activator is in second. Look at how those boats coming into the harbor are jumping out of the water. They're going nuts, but this boat is riding beautifully. High Energy has it set perfectly.
You know, even the boat in second place has got to be happy because he's the owner of Activator Powerboats. Activator's running in first and second with Typhoon coming across in third.
You're watching Factory 1 Racing from Corpus Christi, Texas. There's your leader, High Energy. They are followed by Activator, Typhoon, and Flash Wave. We'll be back with more in a moment. By Mercury Racing, where the race never stops. It's the Alan Samuel Chevrolet Powerboat Shootout from Corpus Christi, Texas. Dick Crippen along with Martin Sanborn, and we're looking at Mike McCarley driving the High Energy boat. Mark Kowalski, the owner of the boat, is on the throttles. They've got that boat in a perfect attitude. They have been operating flawlessly since the green flag, Martin.
They obviously did their homework. It's roughened up a little bit. You can see the white caps on the water, but that boat is flying perfectly flat. You can see that the trim tabs were up a little bit. Normally you put a little bit of tab to keep it down. That tells me that he's got a little bit of drive in. He's not running the drive reel out, but he's got the boat balanced beautifully. Look at how flat he flies, even compared to the identical boat that's right behind him that tends to fly a little bit bow up, which tells me maybe the balance isn't exactly the same as we look at B.J. Marr and Mark Schneff.
They are aboard the Activator boat now, running in second place. They're taking a little bit more chance. They're trying to close in. This is the Typhoon boat. Now, these guys were the ones predicting they wanted to be up front in this race, and so far they're running in third. Look at how they're battling the wake action out there, and look at as Activator starts to fly out of the water. It looks like the water all around is starting to roughen up because even the boat with the clean water up front is bouncing.
This is the roughest portion of the race course, right across the front of the Lexington before they make a slight right-hand dogleg to go into the harbor. Always rough, a transitional point right here in the water. We always see big air in the boats. Right now, Mark Schneff and B.J. Meyer trying to run down their sister boat, High Energy.
Well, they get themselves in position coming into the harbor, I would have imagined, because they've got the smooth water in the harbor, and as they make this left-hand turn, they're going to try to go. Typhoon way up in the air, comes slamming down. Boy, you've got to hold on to the boat when it starts flying.
Yep, you can see he's got a little bit of positive tab in the boat right now to keep the thing flat, but a lot of that happens with the throttleman. He's the one that keeps the boat back in the water when it comes down. He's the one that's got to bring the power on to keep the attitude correct on the boat. He did a great job correcting that and not losing a lot of momentum.
in the harbor. Activator has tried to get onto the inside of the leader. There you see the leader, High Energy, the yellow boat going by. He didn't get fooled at all. The boat on the outside of a left-hand turn is going to have the advantage because he's going to be able to keep up the speed, and he'll cut a little bit of a diagonal, which means the second place boat right there, we saw him had to go through the wake.
You know, the second place boat, he had a shorter distance to go, but going through the wake was not good for him. Here's looking at Typhoon Racing. He's been in the wake the whole time through. You know, it was neat seeing High Energy carry that momentum because he got caught with that same move. It cost him a third place finish in Cleveland.
Well, third place is what we're watching right now, and that's the Typhoon boat. Let's go on board Typhoon Racing.
Good job, Randy.
They're battling it. They are really having to ride that boat high out of the water. Your leader now, he's starting to hit some wakes from other boats as he comes up on the field. Look at how far out Activator has gone. Way, way out, trying to find a little bit more clean water and see if he can get a little bit more speed to the boat. The boat on the inside, the lead boat, has the advantage of a shorter course. The outside boat tries to keep up the speed. Let's go on board Chicks Beach back in the pack.
I'm f***ing hurt. Me too. Call me real f***ing bad. You want to pull in? Nope. But just don't f***ing kill me anymore. See, no, I can't do that, buddy. I just want to see if maybe somebody drops out. There ain't no f***ing way I'm gonna finish this season like this. At least maybe a while. What lap we on? What lap we on? 3? I ain't gonna be able to make it. Okay. Go left. Go left. Go left. All right, I'm trying, man.
Wow, tough break for Gino Marone, retiring himself from the race with an injury. We'll have to get some more information on that.
We'll have that when we come back. Here's your leaderboard. We'll be back to Corpus Christi in a moment.
Gino Marone on the left of your screen, in pain, has hurt his back out there running the boat. They are calling for assistance to get them in.
They are coming in under their own power. They are requesting medical assistance. They're going through the crane. 6 feet.
Clearly, Gino in a lot of pain, as they've told medical, be ready. They're on their way in. As we look at our leaders, Mike McCarley and Mark Kowalski, High Energy Racing, currently in first place as they make their way into the harbor.
If Chicks Beach is off the course, and it appears it is, they will not have to throw any yellow flags. Look at Activator. Activator trying to come up on the inside. BJ Mayer trying to find all the power he can on that boat. Again, going to the inside and the main straightaway in front of the crowd. But it is the High Energy boat holding it in there. A tremendous job of driving by Mike McCarley. Mark Kowalski pushing those sticks forward to find that power, and that boat is settled back down again.
Here's the second most dangerous portion of the course where they have to transition from smooth water to rough water. Both boats doing a wonderful job. And here we get a chance to see BJ Mayer and Mark Schnepp. They've done a wonderful job keeping that boat nice and flat. It is not running as high in the nose as we saw back on the back straightaway. So they've trimmed it out a little bit. Great job going through the transition, trying to run down that sister boat.
BJ Mayer of Boothwyn, Pennsylvania, the driver of the Activator, also the owner. Mark Schnepp is his throttleman out of Coram, New York. They are closing in constantly. That is forcing High Energy Racing to keep it all the way open, and that means pushing the boat through some pretty heavy water. They seem to have the advantage in the ride of the boat, but BJ Mayer continues to close it down.
You know, the experience of BJ Mayer is where you're really seeing this wind-up happen. BJ Mayer's got the experience. He's taken the shortest line around this race course, and it's making a difference. He's winding them up every single time they go around. He gets a little bit closer to him. Kowalski takes the wider line every time running their boat.
Now, is there a temptation to push the boat too far in this situation because you are closing in?
Well, see, here we see, look what a great move. He comes right to the inside. Now he has to dive to the outside because he couldn't cut it as hard. But he made up all that ground in the turn. Mark Kowalski and Mike Mike McCarley tried to sweep the turn, didn't carry the momentum. BJ Mayer was already on the inside, went right through the rooster tail and got within a boat length.
Mike McCauley has got to be looking off to his right-hand side and seeing that green boat. Look how far outside Activator's going, yet he's not losing any ground at all. Even though he's far outside, his speed is compensating and keeping him right in the hunt.
Yeah, he goes out farther. Again, now he's picking up and having to go a farther distance. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but here he's coming in on the same point. They're both aiming for the same mark, which is out of turn 1.
Now he's got wake from another boat he's got to be concerned about. He's jumping across that wake right now, and he's going to try to get at least in the center of that wake and try to get into some smoother water. Meanwhile, the high-energy racing team of Mike McCarley and Mark Kowalski just doing a great job riding that boat on the tail, finding every bit of energy they can. They're passing some boats in other classes because we run several classes at one time, and they're having to fight a little bit of traffic. They're there. You see them go to the outside. They took a little bit of a bounce in the water.
Oh, look at BJ Mayer and Mark Schneff. They moved to the inside, pulled the same kind of move. Mark Kowalski's been hit on this several times. They are now side by side. Beautiful move by Team Activator, moving to the inside. They are now, it looks like, about a nose ahead of High Energy Racing.
A lot of strategy is going through the minds of both of these teams as they battle it out for the lead. This is where APBA Offshore Racing is at its best. 2 boats in the lead, vying nose to nose. The yellow boat on the outside is High Energy Racing. The green boat predominantly on the inside is Activator. That is the F11, the 1 designation. They are the U.S. national champs from last year. They are now trying to get a title here in Corpus Christi, Texas. What a job BJ Mayer and Mark Schneff are doing to get in and take first place away from High Energy Racing.
It's all about experience. That's why they have the number 1 on that boat. You can see that great move. He dove to the inside, got him, and now he's holding on to the lead, and he's going to cross the start-finish line in first place on this lap.
So we've had a great change in position. Still, they are battling some of the other traffic out there, but now High Energy way on the outside as they come back into the smooth water and transition. They will try to keep that speed high and see if they can get a little bit more margin. But I'll tell you what, Activator continues to fly.
It's always rough right there across the front of the Lexington as they make their way into the harbor. But Mark Schneff and BJ Mayer are holding on to their lead. Again, they have the inside line. They're going to take the fast lane around the inside as they cross the start-finish line.
And I imagine experience pays off in that, too, when you're starting to fly the boat like that. You've got to have confidence not only in your boat, but in your throttleman to hold on to it.
Absolutely. He's the one that keeps the attitude of the boat where it needs to be, but the driver's got to keep it pointed in the right direction.
Now let's see. Let's watch the second-place boat, the yellow boat, High Energy. He did not try to cross the wake and come up on the inside, and that's a move that BJ Mayer had made earlier on, and he actually, that's where he started to overtake High Energy.
Absolutely, every time. And here again, he goes to the outside. He's trying to carry speed, but it's not working right now. BJ Mayer and Mark Schneff in the lead as they cross the start-finish line.
We'll be back to Corpus Christi with more great racing in Factory 1 in a moment. By Mercury Racing, where the race never stops. Dick Rippon and Martin Sanborn, Corpus Christi, Texas. The Alan Samuel Chevrolet Powerboat Shootout. You're looking at your leader. This is the Activator team of BJ Mayer and Mark Schneff, and they have done a great job taking High Energy on the inside. They are now the leader. High Energy is in second place.
Get a chance to see how they're just skipping across the tops of the wave. They've got the tabs in a neutral position. Beautiful running boat.
They'll try to keep that boat on the inside of the course as much as they can. As you can see, the slower traffic has moved to the outside. As I told you before, we run several classes at one time. The yellow boat to the right of your screen is second place. The first place boat, the leader, is now right there in the left-hand side of your screen. That is the Activator boat of BJ Mayer. Here's fourth place, David Rem and Jim Shearer in the Flash Wave boat. They were hoping to run a lot better in this water, but they have not found their groove just yet. Good racing in the Factory 1 as we watch Patriot now coming out and transitioning on the water. Oh, Patriot stuffs! Patriot stuffs out there, and he does it again.
Oh!
That is unbelievable. Martin, take us through that because you've been there on those.
Well, what happens is here he gets nose up. He hits the tail. That's a trip. Puts the nose right in. That's a stuff. Doesn't set the boat up right again. Hits the next wave. Bumps the bow up. Trips the tail. Stuffs the nose back in. That's two buckets full of water in the face every time you do that.
And give them credit, they're still under power and still going. David Rem, the driver of Flash Wave, is holding on to his boat. Jim Shearer in the throttle. We understand the Patriot team of Curtis Watkins and John Thames are fine. They just got themselves one wild ride. There's your leader, the F11 Activator. And now they have this thing in hand. They're very confident about what they can do with their boat now. They've been through all the water. They've handled all the conditions. Now it's just a matter of endurance.
You know, they've opened up a tremendous lead over the High Energy team. High Energy dropping off as though they're having some kind of a mechanical problem. Unbelievable run for these guys, but still right now we have two Activators running first and second place.
So the lead team of Activator, B.J. Mayer and Mark Schneff aboard that boat, now come through the breakwater into the harbor where the smooth water is, and now if they're going to open up a lead, they're going to really put those sticks forward and try to get a little bit more margin on the second place boat. Let's take a look at that. There was your first place boat, and here comes your second place. Wow, they really have opened that up.
Here we are on board with Typhoon Racing as they come through the harbor right now in third place.
Typhoon Racing, Glenn Murray trying to power that boat on. They have been a very consistent third every time they have passed the start-finish line. They have not moved up into the lead pack of first and second. But they'll take third in this condition. No question about it. That boat's been handling very well. Here's your lineup as we complete lap number 8. We'll be back in a moment. Shootout, Dick Crippen along with Martin Sanborn as the checkered flag is waving. This is Activator, B.J. Mayer, and Mark Schneff. They are going to take the win in the Factory Ones. They did a great job of overtaking High Energy Racing about halfway through. They got on the inside in the harbor, and there they're given a wave for the victory. Once they got on the inside, they commanded the race and took the lead, and they took it by a rather sizable margin.
You know, it'd be interesting to find out what happened to the High Energy Racing team because they did seem to drop off a little bit. Every time we saw these guys come through the harbor all day long, they were deck to deck.
Well, the commanding lead was taken by the Activator team, so they are happy as they give a wave to the crowd out there. This is one of the best viewing spots, incidentally, in offshore racing because it's almost a permanent grandstand on the seawall here in Corpus Christi, Texas. And I'll tell you, the drivers, they are playing right to the crowd, no question. And this is one very happy team. F11, as we told you, the one designates the championship from last year. And now they have the title here in Corpus Christi, Texas, in the Allen Samuels Powerboat Shootout. Here comes High Energy Racing. Good race at the start. They really held that boat in there, speculating maybe they had a little bit of a problem and lost a little bit of power or something, but they're pretty happy with that second place finish, so that's what they're waving about. They're going to go home happy.
Boy, the ones that have really got to be happy is Activator Powerboats. Those are both Activators taking first and second.
So now they come in and head back into the pit area as we get ready for more racing here in Corpus Christi, Texas. There's still finishers on the course. Here comes your third place boat. This is the Typhoon Racing team. Glenn Murray out of Bridgewater, New Jersey, and Randy Schluss out of Edison, New Jersey. Randy is the owner of that boat, and they are happy with their third place. They had to battle the water all the way, and they got caught back in the wake action several times. They did a great job. It's time for the Mercury Moment, brought to you by Mercury Racing. Today's Mercury Moment came on lap 5 when Activator passed High Energy Racing to take the lead for good and win its second race of the year. They are the first F1 team to repeat this year. There you see Activator on top, and there's the rest of the finish. Jamie's standing by with the winners.
BJ and Mark, Team Activator, you guys did it today. Right before the race, you said you wanted your choppy water. You got what you asked for, but you guys did make it exciting. Finally, lap 5, you guys took over the lead. Tell us about how you made the pass.
All BJ.
Yeah, you know, I'm just, yeah.
Man, you know?
I don't know. We just, you know, we hung in there. It's rough. It was rough water. It was our race. So, but it was another Activator we were racing against. And those guys are good. They know what they're doing. I think we took better turns. I think we shortened the course. I think we made up some ground then. And then once we got in front of them, you know, we were able to pull away. So it was a great day.
Definitely some strategy. I noticed every lap you guys were taking the inside line, like you said. The other Activator was on the outside. Every lap you guys were inching closer.
9 laps, and you know, you got a little bit of, you know, a little bit you're going to make up. So that's the way we always try to go into it, trying to make a short course out of it.
Until this race, it was a different winner every race. You guys are the first team to repeat. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's a good day for Activator boats, that's for sure. These boats do turn once you figure out how to turn them. And these guys will get better. They're a good team. They're going to be tough. You know, they have a fresher engine. They are faster than us. But today, BJ shortened the course. That's how you win races. When it's that close, you shorten the course.
Hey, I got good news for you guys. You're now going to the Bahamas. We will see you there.
The Bahamas now. And as you'll see on our boat with all our checkered flags, Jamie, Corpus was our first one last year. This was our first win here.
There you see the checkered flags that Activators captured. Add another one to that list. Gino Marone, the driver of Chicks Beach Offshore, didn't fare so well. Jamie spoke with him after the race.
We saw you guys pull out. What exactly happened?
Went through an operation in December of last year after an accident, and this year we just came out and stuffed in Savannah, and we were hoping we can get through here. We wouldn't have any back problems and everything else, but we took a couple good hits and then tried to run another 2 laps, and legs went numb and start losing feel, and it was just a smart move by Lou to back off the throttles and pull in.
You're done for the year?
Done for the year. Get operated on probably in a week or two, and put our new team together next year with the 38 Fountain, running Super V Light with twin class.
It's time now for the Vortec Wake Zone. Here's Terry Andrzejewski from GM Vortec.
These engines are both built down the same line at our Conwan engine plant in Buffalo, New York. The similarities, we'll start out with the truck engine here. Basically, it has a coil per cylinder. There's 8 individual coils on this engine, and it gives you more spark power when you need it. This engine can be found in our Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra pickup trucks. It has a reluctor ring right on the crankshaft, which delivers power to the plug, and it has some other features as a aluminum intake manifold that does not have any water in it, so it is really a plus when you move over to the marine environment. We'll move over to the marine engine over here, and as you can see from the front of this engine, there's an accessory drive system on it which aids the long life performance of the serpentine belt, and that drive system is a lift off of our truck platform, so we get designed-in features carrying over into the marine environment. We have a new oil pan for the marine to hold the capacity that's required on the marine engine, and it's also a V-bottom design because of the different attitudes and angles that you'd experience in that application. Proving out the performance of this engine is a real plus when we move into the marine environment, because our racers put this engine through some serious time on the water in high seas, heavy G-forces, and do a lot of pounding. So if we can prove that it's robust enough for the marine environment, it's going to more than better your truck as you drive down the road.
I'm here with Elaine Modal. She is the race promoter for this race, and the first female and the only female promoter. Elaine, you have a great thing going on here. Big racing happening today. What do you expect? There's a big outcome so far.
Well, I'm very blessed. I have a great community behind me and a built-in seawall which provides the spectators an opportunity to see the boats right up front and very, very personal as they cruise right in front of them.
And you have all local sponsors.
We do. We are an independent race site, and I'm very blessed. My title sponsor, Alan Samuel Chevrolet, has been with me for 5 years, and we have VIP tents all along the seawall and spectators and a major party going on.
That's right, a major party is happening. We have some great racing coming up.
As part of the fun festivities in Corpus Christi during the race weekend, there was the stylistic tanning bikini contest. That drew a rather large crowd, and it all happens right in the dry pit area, so the fans are right around the race boats as all the festivities continue. A good crowd on hand in Corpus Christi for racing, and well, for just about anything else that happens. The F2 boats are on the course. We'll be back with more racing after this timeout. Racing, Formula. We're in Corpus Christi, Texas, as we get ready for that Factory 2 racing. Team Donzi is leading in points by 100 over R&S Offshore. Herbot Racing right behind.
Factory 2 is 30 to 39-foot V-bottom open cockpit sealed HP 500 Mercury engines with Mercury Bravo outdrives, and here is the points leader, Team Donzi.
Team Donzi will bring them up on the start line. They are close to that pace boat under the yellow flag.
4, 3, 2, 1. start. Thank you.
Green flag is up and we're underway, and this is where you see the equality of these boats. Identical engines for the most part. The hulls are very close to each other. They really have to have a lot of strategy between the driver and the throttleman. And here we are on board the Harwich Concrete Block Pier 57. Marco Dugan driving, Chris Wickstrom on the throttles.
This is a very competitive boat. You can see he's in second place right now. Your leader, R&S Offshore Racing, Chris Wickstrom, just getting passed right now by the fleet. What's going on as he slows down to go through the turn? Gives up a lot of distance, but takes a sharper line through the turn.
Harwich Concrete Block pulled a maneuver there where he actually had to slow down off the back of the pack and then go to the inside. Now, can he make it up on the inside? It looks like he's going to do it. R&S is still in the lead, but look at Chris Wickstrom come on in that boat.
That boat is a very fast boat. You can see how quickly he made up that distance. He now has the inside line going to the turn, but he does not control the line. R&S Offshore can slam the door on him when they get to that turn.
So what he's got to do then is to get inside of R&S Offshore so he doesn't have the room. And that's what he's going to do. He's moved up, he's gotten on the inside, and he's managed to hold on to that groove.
Oh, what a beautiful turn through there. He's coming in right now, but here we have Team Donzi on the outside. It looked like they moved into the lead.
Team Donzi on the left of your screen, the leader had been the Harwich Concrete sort of dark boat off to the right of your screen, but now Team Donzi has taken the lead. So now Harwich Concrete is going to set the sights on the boat leading the fleet. That's the white Team Donzi boat. Now we look at Harwich Concrete, and they're trying to battle and catch up on the inside of R&S Offshore Racing. Wow, what a battle this is. The fourth place boat is sitting right on their tail.
We have a side-by-side battle between Harwich Concrete Block, Herbot Racing, Total Marine Racing right behind him. Unbelievable racing, but here is your leader right now in Factory 2, Doug Valentine, Mike Stancombe in Team Donzi.
And they are holding it strong. They're going to try to keep that inside line. The other two boats are battling it out with each other. Harwich Concrete and Snap-on Tools is running right up in there. That's the husband and wife team, Wilma and Brian Ross out of Canada. There's Marco Dugan and Chris Wickstrom in Harwich Concrete. We go on board that boat. They're having a very good ride in that boat, but they are in second place and now taking aim on the Donzi boat, trying to hold an inside line. Let's see how Donzi goes around them, and they force Chris Wickstrom to go to the outside. Wickstrom takes the outside run. Now he's got to try to find the power to come up on it. Let's go on board that boat. They are having a discussion.
A rather animated discussion, it would appear. But there is our leader right now, Doug Valentine and Mike Stancombe and Team Donzi. They've opened up a lead on the back straightaway.
Team Donzi looking for this win. They have that lead in the high points so far this season. They want to add to that if they possibly can. Here's your standing. More racing from Corpus Christi in a moment. Mercury Racing, where the race never stops. The Alan Samuel Chevrolet Powerboat Shootout in Corpus Christi, Texas. You can see your leader in the F1 boats right now. Doug Valentine, the driver. Mike Stancombe on the throttles. It is Team Donzi. Dick Crippen along with Martin Sanborn. Martin, that second place boat, is taking a little bit of a rough ride.
Well, it's a little shorter boat. It's roughened up a little bit this afternoon. They're running really hard trying to keep into the hunt. They've got a lot of work to do to catch that Donzi, though. The Donzi very fast, always been a strong boat all year long, but the 35 is traditionally a little bit faster. The problem is this water's a little rougher, and that's where the Donzi shines. The Donzi doing a great job. Donzi, the title sponsor of the APBA Factory Series this year.
Your Donzi boat leads it back into the transition water that leads to the smoother water of the inner harbor here in Corpus Christi, Texas. Doug Valentine and Mike Stancombe very confident in that boat, and look at this battle.
Wow, we have a battle between two formulas duking it out. R&S Offshore Racing and Total Marine. Total Marine ahead of R&S right now. Formula Powerboats is the 2001 Mercury Constructors Champions in factory class racing. And here you see why. These boats very equally matched. Right behind them, you see Brian and Wilma Ross coming across in their Snap-on Team Donzi boat. But look at this battle right now between the two 38-foot formulas. Oh, gets a little air, stands on his tail as R&S Racing comes in trying to catch Total Marine.
They are really pushing these boats through the water in Corpus Christi, Texas. Once again, R&S Offshore Racing is trying to come up. Here's your leader, Team Donzi, riding smooth in that water. That 38-footer is jumping from wave to wave. When when they're in the rough water and just plowing through the smooth. Second place is Harwich Concrete. They've dropped back just a little bit. They're still within striking distance. It always looks a lot further than it actually is in time, and just a hiccup by Team Donzi. Chris Wickstrom would be right on him.
Absolutely, and here comes Keith Herbot and Joe Skokie right there in Herbot racing for a Cure F280.
They are holding on to third place and likewise are in striking distance. Meanwhile, the battle continues to go on for fourth. That's going a little bit too far on the outside. You can get close in and get a good shot of the fans, and the fans can wave and all that kind of thing, but you want to get the speed. You want to keep it as tight as you can.
And there's our leader right there, Team Donzi again. Current leader Doug Valentine, Mike Stancomb running beautifully in their boat as they make their way towards the Lexington to come back into the harbor.
The story of the race so far has been the second place boat, Marco Dugan and Chris Wickstrom, as they have been battling it out. They had a shot at the lead early on just as Donzi overtook them. Now they are riding in second place. They are trying to make up time. They're trying to keep as tight as they can on the buoys. It has been animated with these two.
Woohoo! Boy, not happy with each other the way they went around that corner. You saw they high-sided it. That is a scary feeling.
Well, they're each on each other about it. They're saying the throttleman maybe took it too hard. The driver took it too sharp. Who cares? They're still holding on to second place, and they've still got the boat on the water.
But look at how much ground that one little hiccup allowed Herbot Racing for a Cure to get that much closer to him.
Herbot Racing, Keith Herbot is the owner of the boat. He also is the driver out of Lake Harmony, Pennsylvania. Joseph Scrocky out of Howell, Michigan is the throttleman, and look at them. They're doing the tick-tock maneuver right off the back end of the boat.
Boy, surprising how tall Keith Herbot is standing up in that seat. I'd want to be a little bit lower when you start dancing around like that.
Well, fortunately, he's got those bolsters holding him in there nice and tight like a glove. Here's your leader once again, Doug Valentine and Mike Stancomb, as they come through the turns. They are just operating beautifully. Even get a little time to give a wave to the fans out there. Inevitably, that's Mike. He loves to get the fans involved. He wears flames everywhere he goes. He has flames on his shorts. He has flames on his shoes, flames on his helmet. He is just a fiery type of guy.
Well, they're running very well right now. In the lead, Team Donzi, also the current points leader. First place overall right now in the F2 race. But here's your second place boat, Harwich Concrete Block. Chris Wickstrom, Marco Dugan putting on a strong battle. It's a little rougher on the outside. That's given the 38 a little bit of an edge. These guys holding on right in second place.
Trying to close down on the leader. They've got a very good run in that boat now. They've had a little disagreement between each other, but I really have to think that's respect for each other's ability. They are still very much in the hunt. Let's take a look at the field summary at this point. Team Donzi is leading with Harwich second, Herbot third. We'll be back to Corpus Christi in a moment. And Team Donzi in the lead, and it looks like they're slowing down. Let's go on board with Marco Dugan and Chris Wickstrom. They have obviously seen that Donzi is slowing down.
Whoa, tough break. Now they get passed by Herbot Racing for a Cure. They have now just gone from first place to third place.
Team Donzi very disappointed, not knowing exactly what happened to that boat. All of a sudden, things just went awry. So your new leader is Harwich Concrete. I'll bet you they're not getting on each other's cases now.
I'll bet you they're pretty happy right now. You know, you'll take a win any way you can get it. Offshore Powerboat Racing is a race of attrition, but there goes your leader right now. Brand new leader in Factory 2, Harwich Concrete Block. He's going to cross the start-finish line in first place.
Well, like they say in racing all over the place, no matter what the sport, if it's competition between two, you got to start and you got to finish. And in this case, Harwich Concrete Block Racing has gotten themselves into the lead, and they are very, very happy as they go by the fans. They're both acknowledging the lead to the folks in the pit area. Harwich Concrete Block Racing. Marco Dugan is out of Winthrop, Massachusetts. He is the driver. Chris Wickstrom out of Harwich, Massachusetts is the owner of the boat and also the throttleman. And now, here's another change in position.
Well, now we have Herbot Racing for a Cure has moved into second place overall. Keith Herbot, Joseph Scrocky right now, currently in second place, trying to run down Harwich Concrete Block.
They don't have much time to do it because Harwich Concrete Block is making The final run on this 5.42 mile course in their final lap. They'll be coming around next time for the checkered flag. By the way, the Factory 2 boats going 11 laps on this 5.42 mile course. James Richardson and Jack Sturley coming around in R&S Offshore Racing. Team Donzi with a little bit of a problem. You can see that bow is riding a little bit too high. They are now currently in 4th place. That's Doug Valentine and Mike Stancomb.
You know, they're only running on one engine right now. You can see on the one side, these boats don't normally throw a rooster tail unless they're on one engine. They were able to keep it on plane once they shut it down. They're slowing down even more from where they were coming into the harbor right now, and they haven't crossed the start-finish line as more traffic goes by. That was Total Marine Racing going by on the outside. Now Donzi Marine is dead in the water, and they have not crossed the start-finish line. They are dropping positions. Doug Valentine standing up, very upset right now.
And that boat has got to cross the start-finish line to get any points for this lap. The more times they cross that start-finish line, the better chance they have of getting more points at the finish. Meanwhile, your leader is the Harwich Concrete Block boat, Pier 57. Marco Dugan and Chris Wickstrom, they are now in total control. They're not talking to each other right now. They are just concentrating on what you see right there, the checkered flag coming home for the win. Harwich Concrete Block. We want to congratulate Chris Wickstrom and Marco Dugan out of Massachusetts, both of them. They were guys who had a great time racing their hometown. Now some big disappointment with the Team Donzi boat unable to cross the finish line one more lap. Your winners, though, taking the checkered flag, Harwich Concrete Block, Pier 57.
You know, it's got to be frustrating for Team Donzi to lead all day long and to go from first place to last place one lap before the end of the race, apparently for a fuel situation. You know, fuel happens when you're trying to set up for the absolute minimum weight of the boat, and if you misjudge, that's what happens. But here's your winner, Harwich Concrete Block, with the rest of the lineup. We'll be back with more in Corpus Christi right after this.
You've seen great Factory 2 racing here in Corpus Christi. There you see Donzi getting towed. They apparently ran out of gas. There are your winners, Harwich Concrete Block, Marco Dugan and Chris Wickstrom. Jamie is standing by with them in the wet pits.
Here with Chris, he's the throttle man for the winning team. Once again, 2 weeks in a row, Cleveland and your 4th win on the year. You got to be happy. What went on out there?
Well, we had a real rough race. It was rough, and fountains aren't known for the rough water, but we just kept on it. And my driver, Mark's in the ambulance right now. He's going to be okay. We did get the wind knocked out of him. We did stuff it on a wave on a turn, but the boat handled real well. We stayed on course, and we just held it out. We were in 2nd place up to the last lap, when Donzi in front of us had a little problem, and so did we, and we kept going and went for the win.
Well, there's Mark. He's in the ambulance. Another team that's got to be hurting after this race is Team Donzi. They had a big lead, then ran out of gas. Jamie's standing by with Steve Simon of the Team Donzi.
Team Donzi, you guys are the series points leaders, but you just came back. You had to get towed in. What happened?
Well, unfortunately, the crane scales, we happen to weigh our boat, and we adjust the fuel accordingly to what the boat weighs. And unfortunately, these scales are way off, and we made a bad call on fuel. We led the race 9 laps, a good 25-second lead ahead of the 2nd place boat. And entering the 10th lap,